Okay, cool. So we left off talking about each group and what they were able to do. So we'll just very quickly go back and look at what was the biggest conceptual misunderstanding that you would want to reteach, and then how would you want to reteach it?
Well, I think like particularly looking at the middle group, they've like done really well with like the scaffold that I've given them of like at first, but then, and so it seems like a lot of them are able to say like at the beginning it was this way, and then at the end it was this way. But I feel like they're missing that like sort of conceptual middle piece that the theme is developed like throughout the entire story, and so like they're missing that middle piece. Particularly like since we taught like with the plot diagram, I feel like with something like this, or even like with like for a reteach around this book, like to pull from that plot diagram to show them like he faces this problem in the middle of the book, like how can we pull from that there?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you hit the key misconception, like almost identical to what I had. It's like the biggest error, the key conceptual misunderstanding is that themes are developed in 3 places: beginning, middle, and end. Not just the beginning and the middle, it's throughout. And then more specifically, like we start the problem, the theme is developed in the exposition, it's further developed when they face the problem in the middle of the text, and then the theme is fully developed in the resolution when they respond to whatever the challenge was.
And I feel like particularly like giving them these words like in the exposition or like in the resolution, like I feel like that will take their writing about the theme to like the next level.
And it's applicable no matter what story that they ever use, So knowing that the key conceptual misunderstanding is that kids need to know first the themes are developed throughout all 3 and then be able to apply that to their writing. How would you want to reteach this? With a model or a discourse?
Yeah, I think like because so many of them were in the middle group, I feel like they could handle a guided discourse. And also I think because like this is what I taught them, like that at first, but then. And so I think like even framing it to them of like, you guys have gotten really good at the way that we've done it so far. Like I want to add something new now that's going to take us like to the next level.
Yeah, and in all of this, like see how successful you've been. Like every single kid to have this level of writing is beautiful, and we really just are with discourse taking it to the next level.
Yeah, I think too, like seeing how successful like some of these anchor charts have been for kids, like creating an anchor chart like this, maybe like to go directly underneath our anchor chart on theme, like so like starting in the exposition, just like different sentence starters that they can like pick up and use, or like the theme is further developed when like the theme like continues to be developed when, but like giving them sort of like these sentence stems that they can use, and like different options. Like I can go home and brainstorm some.
And what's beautiful about that is that this will apply to any standard in like the craft and structure section. So it can be like, how's the central idea developed?
Yeah.
And
starting
it's
like exposition, central ideas developed by.
You can use the same, like kids can use the same thing, or like how does the point of view help develop something? Like in the beginning, the middle, end. And so tacking that on will be really cool.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I really love too, like I'm seeing like so many kids use like the by blanking blank structure, even with questions that are unrelated to this, and I love pointing it out to them, like, look, like you did it by blanking blank, and they're like,
It's great, and it just takes their writing to the next level, for sure. So thinking about your discourse then, let's take a second, let's take like 3 or 4 minutes and plan out our reteach. I gave you like a platform here, but just take a second to really internalize it and make it your own, and then we will actually practice rolling out this reteach. Just so you know, all of the lessons from now until Park will have about 10 minutes built in for do now time, and it's just going to be all of the like very mini reteach lessons daily. And so this is a perfect example of how we could do that. So just take about 3 or 4 minutes and internalize it and make it your own.